Jimmy Butler goes off yesterday during practice, and he's yelling at teammates. He yelled at somebody in the front office, "You bleeping need me here." And so Jimmy Butler, I guess, now has the leverage again because he thought he had leverage, wanted to trade, and then Tom Thibodeau said, "We're not trading you. I want you here." The owner had talked about trading him, and then, Thibs said, "No, I want you here." So then he lost his leverage. Now he goes off during practice, conveniently sits down with Rachel Nichols, and then she's going to be honest. He's going to tell you the truth about everything that's going on. How did it leak out, what happened at practice? Was it Jimmy Butler who leaked it? Could it have been somebody in the front office who leaked it? Did somebody leak it to make Jimmy Butler look bad? Does he look bad? Who wants Jimmy Butler after this? I don't know if he's as good as he thinks he is. He's a good player. Good defensive player, good two-way player. He is. He's a good player. I just don't know if he's this good. And what star player would do this? Where you're going to, I don't know if he's a star player, but there are certain players who will berate teammates. But then they don't sit down with an interview and talk about berating teammates. Jordan used to do it. I'm sure Bird would needle people. I'm sure Kobe would do it. But they won championships. They were stars. Jimmy Butler's not a star. He's a good player. Yes, he
didn't really seem all that upset that it got leaked either in the interview.
No.
At no point was he like, yeah, this is garbage and somebody sold me out and I'm really mad about it and that's why I want out of here. He was like, okay, fine. Yeah, I did do all that.
This feels like this was a palace coup. Like, I'm gonna get it back. The management's gonna have to say, you know what, we can't keep him around. Because look, as I pointed this out, a while ago, Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins aren't big on Jimmy Butler. But I understand where they look at this guy like, okay, will you stop harping on us? Or we're not good enough. Or, these kids are used to being coddled. They don't want to hear this. Thibodeau is a tough guy. Thibodeau is the guy who would be doing this, needling them and getting them to be better. And they should be better. Minnesota should be a top 4, top 5 team. They really should be. But if Jimmy Butler doesn't, so Jimmy Butler can't talk about his passion and then want to be traded. Like, how much do you really love being here in Minnesota and this team and making them better, but hey, I want to be traded? You can't have both.
But can he be more passionate about winning than he is about staying at the team? I mean, if he's talking about these guys are a bunch of kids and they don't play hard, they don't want to win, they don't care about winning, I want to go somewhere where we win because I'm more passionate about basketball than I am to this one team. I don't see why that's the problem with the NBA is that some guys care too much about winning and they're calling out their other players who don't care. I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That doesn't sound like selfish behavior. I'd rather go someplace. Wouldn't you rather play somewhere where you were going to win and you played with other people who cared?
Don't you think that he staged this so he now has to get out? They have to get rid of him. So does he really care about winning? I mean, it's about him. It's not about winning. When has Jimmy Butler won? Did he do this in other stops? Did he berate Dwayne Wade that maybe Dwayne Wade didn't want to win in Chicago? I don't know. And Jimmy Butler has been a great story. But it felt like this was, just so happened that Rachel Nichols is here. And let me tell you everything that happened, because I'm going to be real here. Coincidence?
No, I think you're 100% right. I think he staged the whole thing. I think it's a total farce. But that doesn't mean necessarily that he's the bad guy. He's trying to force their hand a little bit. He's trying to get out of a situation he doesn't want to be in. And maybe he's not using the right tactics necessarily. But I could find a lot more flaws or faults in a guy than being like, I want to actually win.
Yeah. And then you're yelling at management, you bleeping need me here, but you don't want to be there. And is there a way to motivate Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins by just, by being a true leader, not by denigrating them? That was bizarre. I mean, this was the number one trending story for a couple hours yesterday. And I'm thinking, this is Jimmy Butler. I mean, he's a really good player. He's a top 15 player, I guess. And I thought Houston was going to be I don't know what GMs are going to think. Now, what do you get for him? What are you giving up for him? Who are you getting in return? But what a mess in Minnesota.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.